We have an amazing young man in our midst. He's 90 years of age today. Noble, would you please stand up and let us applaud you? And a very happy birthday to you, Noble. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Noble. Happy birthday to you. There we go. Woo! To be followed up by birthday cake over in Richelieu Hall after this service. So we're looking forward to that celebration, a lovely way to begin our week. And so, my dear ones, here we are today, and we're looking at this thing called endeavor, really. Doing what it takes, making it happen, and so on. And it's a good Sunday to be looking at that, because way back when the founding fathers got together, that's what they had to do. They had to do what it took in order to get the job done. And these were men, flawed men like the rest of us all. They were not perfect by any manner or means, and yet they accomplished a great and noble thing. And they introduced a concept that we are still working on to achieve freedom and liberty for all, etc. And so what a better day to look at that than today. And so making it happen and doing what it takes requires effort. And of course, when you go to the dictionary, you get all kinds of wonderful words for effort. And again, guess what they are? They're action-packed. Action-packed. Has to do with application and attainment. And again, same words come in: determination, energy, power comes in there too, and vigorousness. And then it says on the informal side, stab, take a stab at it, bash, have a bash at it, crack, have a crack at it, and so on. So again, invitations to be what? To be engaged, to be involved, to be active, to be empowered, to be in charge of something, especially our lives. And I love the story about the young man who came home one evening from football practice. This young boy came home and he was very frustrated and very irritated, and his dad said, "Well, what's the matter with you?" And he said, "Well, I don't get it really. I don't see the point of all of these practices, especially if we have to have extra practices," because he said, "We've won every game this season. So, what's the need? What's the need?" And his dad just smiled and took him by the shoulder and said, "Come with me." And he took him out into the garage, into his workshop, and he said, "Now, I want you to do something." He said, "I'm going to take a plank of wood. This is hard wood." And he said, "I'm going to give you this penknife." It was a tiny little penknife. And he said, "I just want you to do one thing. Just make one score down the middle of the plank." And so the boy said, "Okay." So he did it. And he said, "That's good, son." So he put the plank and the knife aside, and they went back inside, and they had, their dinner. And this went on every time the young man had a practice. They'd go out into the garage together. The plank would be pulled out. The young man would take the small penknife, and he'd score where he had started out. And then eventually, of course, all too soon, it came to the point where there was no score anymore. There was just 2 pieces of wood. And the father said to him, he said, "Son, could you ever have believed that you could accomplish such a thing with so little effort and with a tiny little penknife, that you could get through that very hard board just like that?" And the son just grinned and didn't say much of anything. He said, "Success in life, son, has nothing to do with the great spurts of effort you put into something. He says it has to do with the steady, accumulated effort that you put in consistently, and your coach knows this." And he said, "You need to know it too. And if you get it, son, this is going to be one of the best lessons you have learned in life." And again, they went back in and had their supper. And what a great, good thing for a young man at an early stage to learn. Consistent effort, not those great spurts that we all get. How many times have you and I had a great big spurt of energy, started out, gung-ho, we're going to get this done, and so on, like the balloon, went flat, you see. So consistent, continuous, and constant endeavor is a key component in a successful life, in a life that is to accomplish and achieve. It's essential to that. Essential, that consistent, constant, persistent endeavor. It means you understand the power of bit by bit, drop by drop, step by step. And you keep bitting it, and you keep dropping it, and you keep stepping it until it gets done. There's how we become successful. And there are so many people who seem to demonstrate few talents and skills by comparison to the very skilled and the very talented people out there that accomplish extraordinary things and have outstanding achievement and success. And why is that? It's because they understand the bit by bit, drop by drop, and step by step model. And they set out on their task full of enthusiasm, full of determination, and absolutely persistent, and it never occurs to them to quit. They wouldn't know what quitting was. They keep going until it gets done. That's how they accomplish their success. Whereas many another lofty, wonderful, infinitely intelligent one doesn't accomplish the same success because they don't understand the model of bit by bit, drop by drop, and step by step. We don't understand the accumulative effect of life and living and things, you see. James Allen was a great philosopher, and he once said that all life's endeavors results in efforts and results, and the strength of the effort will determine the result. The strength of the effort will determine the result. It's a beautiful thing for us to contemplate this week. It's a good week to contemplate that. Am I able to maintain and sustain an effort once I set out on a task or a path? Is that my MO? To keep going and keep on keeping on until it gets done? Or am I a starter but never a closer? Or very seldom a closer? You see, you and I have to be both. We have to be starters and we have to be finishers. We have to know how to start and we have to know how to complete, how to close, how to bring it on home. Edison said, any of my accomplishments and any of my achievements and any of my discoveries, none of them, he said, not one of them happened by accident or happenstance. He said they all happened because of accumulated effort and because of hard work on my part, over and over and over again, until I achieved the result that I wanted. Until I achieved the result that I wanted. Now, my goodness me, this is not something new, and it's certainly not rocket science for you and me to understand the power and the potency of bit by bit and drop by drop and step by step. You keep going, you keep moving in the direction of your desire, your dream, or your goal to be realized until it is. And there's no ifs, ands, and buts or doubts about it. We just keep on keeping on until it happens. Remember and understand this, each and every one of us is self-made. Each and every one of us is self-made. You can look at that on all levels. You can look at it to begin with as the great self of us, being the maker of us. And then you can look at your own life as being self-made too, a do-it-yourself thing, self-made life. So this week I'm asking us all to look at our lives and ask ourselves the question, how many of all of those amazing troubles that are upon me now are self-made? How many of those troubles that are upon me now are self-made? Because if I can recognize that they are self-made, guess what? I can unmake them. I have the power to unmake them. Your life is given to you for an amazing, amazing, amazing accomplishment. Amazing accomplishment. It started when you took your first breath. When you took your first breath, there was a deep, 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 powerful desire in you to accomplish, to achieve, to succeed, to know yourself, realize yourself, be yourself in all manners of life and living. What happened to that? Is it still there? Is it still burning within you? Is it still a light? Do you feed the light? Where are you with regard to you understanding your purpose in life and living? Where are you? You are given a life not just to endure through it. You are given a life so that you can live gloriously through it. Because there's something greater than you are going on within you. And we have an amazing, accomplishing, wonderful teaching that helps us to understand more fully than maybe most the bit by bit, the drop by drop, and the step by step model of life and living. Because we know that we're not in it alone. We know there's something greater than ourselves in it with us, and can move through us when invited, most especially and particularly, to realize and accomplish any great goal that we desire. But we think of greatness for people out there, the great ones, like the founding fathers, or whomsoever you want to think of, or Oprah, or whatever. We think of others in terms of the great ones, and we forget the self within ourselves that is the great one, and the only great one. And it's just that some of us express it more clearly and fully than others do. But there's no reason why each one of us in this room today cannot demonstrate that same greatness as anybody else has on this plane until now. But you have to decide whether or not it is within you. You have to decide whether you believe this or not. You have to decide whether you are just all your circumstances and your situations and your accomplishments and your failures and whatever else, or that perhaps you're something more than that and can be that more, and not stay stuck at the level of this much is okay. It's all right. I'm okay. I have a good life, you know. Well, you can stay at that level, or you can understand that all life is your life, and all life is available to you. And you can understand that as well as you are living, and as good as it gets for you, there's you in that one, and 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 that one. And you can help to bring others on home to themselves through the way you think, through the way you feel, and through the way you live your life too, because there is only the one. And that's why I say that one and that one and that one. There's only the one. And the one shows up in every living thing. And everything is living at some level of consciousness or another. So you can't just sit down and say, I'm accomplished, I've achieved, look at my life, it's great. You have not. You haven't even begun, really. You're just dipping in the water there a little bit. Because the whole ocean is yours, not just the bit you're dipping your feet into. And it's all available to you. And it wants to accomplish itself through you. And it wants you to take everything and everyone along with you as you ascend. It wants to bring all of life with you. You and I have the power through the upliftment of our consciousness to lift all of life up. And you and I have the power through our consciousness to pull all of life down. You and I have that power. But we're so preoccupied with this little tiny speck, which is each one of us over here, and what's going on with that we never get to realize this. That I'm big and I'm mighty and I'm awesome out there in the world, and I have an amazing gift to bring with me wherever I am, and I can be an amazing upliftment wherever I am, and I can make all the difference in the world wherever I am. I can. Exactly as I am, I can. I just have to change my mind about all of that right now, and it's done. And I can move into what I'm created to be. Isn't that incredible? Isn't that amazing? And yet you may have come in here feeling awful and down and, not so hotsy-totsy and an ache here and a this there and all the rest of it. Well, you can stay in that conscious awareness of yourself and call yourself that, or you can decide, no, enough already. I am not that. I am more than that. And what gets me out of all the ailments is to identify with the more that I am, and to understand that I am an incredible point of power through which the infinite can express itself in all its magnificence if I allow it. If I allow it. How many times do we think about that? How many times do we ponder that? How many times do we allow ourselves to shut up, get still enough, get quiet enough, to listen enough, and to listen deeply to that? And if we do, we hear. And what we hear awes us, amazes us, astounds us. But that's what we have to do. We have to do what it takes. Bit by bit. Drop by drop, step by step is the way we accomplish. Especially those of us who are used to allowing our minds to just run amok. Like an unruly child out of control. It's going to take a little bit of time to rein that in, to corral that energy. But you can do it bit by bit. Drop by drop, step by step. I want you to have this going on in your mind all day long, all week long, so that it moves you just to take the little bit and handle it. Let the drop and make the difference. Take the step, the first step. It will set you on an infinite journey to amazing accomplishment and unfoldment. It really will. But you've got to take the step. Now here's the thing about taking the step. When you've taken the little step, and then the little step, and then the little step, and you're gaining momentum, and the energy's accumulating, and you're gaining it, you're not supposed to change direction with your step. You don't do that. And you'll say, but I am stepping. And I'll say, but in which direction are you heading? Because when you're taking your little step, that old stuff within us, the old habits will, drive us crazy sometimes and distract us sometimes. And before we know it, here we are, off in a tangent, or even going backwards. Don't you identify with that? I certainly do. Gung-ho, off we go, here we are. And our step is becoming a little jog, and the jog has become a little trot, and the trot becomes a little race, and all of a sudden you realize you've raced yourself over here. And you go, ooh. And all the energy that has cost me. Now I'm too tired to get back on track. So it's step by step, back to the starting point again. And we begin all over, and that's how we get it done. We begin all over again, 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 because we can. We begin all over again. It matters not that a man falls down 8 times as long as he gets up a 9th, says Zen Buddhism. It's not about the falling down, it's always about the getting up. That great song, brush yourself off and start all over again. Metaphysics. So where are you, my dear ones? Where were you when you walked into this room? What was going on? How were you considering your life? Or were you totally ignoring it? Were you not considering it at all? Were you just letting it happen? Were you just letting the days unfold as they unfold, and that's that? You know, it's bedtime all of a sudden. Hope I sleep tonight. I didn't drink coffee after 6 o'clock. I tell you, when you're in your endeavor and when you are going at it, pell-mell, step by step, drip by drip, and step by step, you're exhausted when you get to bed at night. It's a good exhaustion. You fall asleep. You've no problem sleeping at all. Because you're on task. You're doing your thing. You're getting it done. You're moving ahead. You're moving, you're moving, you're moving. And it's all about movement of the mind to begin with, that moves the heart, the feeling mechanism of us, that moves the feet. You move your mind, you move your heart, and then you move your feet, and it gets done, and there's no other way of getting it done. None whatsoever. But if you choose to sit down and wallow in the fact that here you are, nothing much accomplished, I thought by this time in my life thus and so would have happened, and so on and so forth, go ahead, have at it. It's your choice. You're a sovereign being. That's okay, because sooner or later you'll catch up with yourself, and sooner or later you will accomplish what you want to accomplish. You will realize what you want to realize. You will be what you want to be, not what you wish you were. Oh, the wish you weres. Don't be a wish you were at the end of your days. It's sad to hear people at the end of the days being wish you weres. It's up to you. So the challenge this week is for you and I every single day to be in movement, to be in action. Every single day to be in affirmations of life. Every single day to move toward something that we want to accomplish. Every single day. And take it steady, and take it easy, and take it slowly. Because if you want your dream to grow, take your time, go slowly, says the song in the great movie Brother Sun and Sister Moon. Take it steady, steady as she goes. That's the way we get it done. When we are so backlogged that we don't know where to begin, never underestimate the power of something. Move on something. Do something. Let me tell you, one small thing done is better than many great things planned. And how many great things have we planned? One small thing done better than many great things planned. I'll leave you with that thought today as we move out there into the world, full of energy now, full of get up and go, full of the understanding and the realization of the power of stick-to-itiveness and the accumulation of endeavor. The accumulation, steady, consistent endeavor multiplies your chances of realizing your goal. So are we on this week to get up and get at it? Yes. Are we on this week to make it happen? Yes. To do what it takes? Yes. And to get off our dairy airs and decide to accomplish and achieve? We're on? Yes. Good, and so it is.
We invite you to experience Dr. Moira in person on Sundays. Our services are at 9 a.m. and 11 a.m., and childcare is available. Please join us. If you enjoy these messages and would like to make a donation to our center, please visit our website at redondocsl.org. Thank you for your support of this ministry.